You've probably heard this definition before, that a noun is a person, place, or a thing. I want to highlight a few issues that can cause some problems in your writing. Now, there are two basic categories for nouns. Nouns can be proper. And a proper noun is a specific name of a person or a country or a city or a language or a company or an organization. All of those are examples of proper nouns, and proper nouns should be capitalized. And everything else that is not the specific name is a common noun. These are more general items. If you take a look around your room right now, pretty much the majority of what you're going to see is a common noun. My computer, my desk, my pencil, my books, my bookshelf, all of those are common nouns. Concepts such as knowledge or business or money, all of those are common nouns. And so are fields of study such as science or academic words such as bachelor's degree or master's degree. All of those are considered common nouns and should not be capitalized. So we have a couple of sample sentences here. My dog is named Wendy, and I am a student at Walden University. So the words dog and student, those are general words, right? They're not specific names, so those are common nouns and should not be capitalized. Whereas the words Wendy and Walden University, those are names and should be capitalized. And APA does have some guidelines when it comes to what is considered a proper noun versus a common noun. So for help determining whether a noun should be proper or common, that is for help determining whether or not you should capitalize a word, check out our guide to APA capitalization nuances. So there's one more distinction that I want to bring up, and that is that nouns can either be singular, which means there's one of them, or plural, which means there's more than one. Most nouns, to make them plural, you just add an S, an ES, or an IES. I bring this up because there are quite a few irregular plural nouns, especially with scholarly writing. And I've listed a few of those here. For example, the word syllabus. The plural of that word is not syllabuses, it's syllabi. The word criterion is a singular noun, and the plural of that noun is criteria. The word data is actually a plural noun. The singular form of that is datum. And then finally, the word thesis, the plural of that word is theses. And so, I'll often see students make little errors with these irregular plural nouns, which is why I bring them up here. We have a link to a great resource on these irregular plural nouns. And one last tip when it comes to nouns, and that is that when you're speaking in general terms, it's a good idea to stick to the plural. So for example, instead of saying a student should always try his or her best, that makes it sound like you're just talking about one student. If you want to make it clear that you're making a generalization, it's better to stick to the plural. Students should always try their best.